a son and a daughter who have a podcast with their parents. And they go, it's very entertaining because it's like some of the things their parents say, you're just like, oh my gosh. Brother asks sister, what is one thing you would have changed about our upbringing? Sister says, oh, it would have been nice to like not been hit with a belt. That's all she said. Yeah. And then the parents just like, no acceptance or personal accountability, immediately flip it back to like, well, did you ever go out without financially or things like that, where you can't even accept that you've harmed your own child without, again, accepting any accountability, taking responsibility, apologizing, even just immediately projecting it back onto them with anger and denial, has got to be so damaging. And I just think that that's probably what happened to the majority of humans for the longest time. Yeah. So it's going to be really cool to see in a couple 100 years this ripple effect of emotional intelligence. And I know gentle parenting probably has its people on both sides that think it's effective or not effective or whatever. But at the end of the day, I'm sure that abuse versus non-abuse is going to be really impactful in the way that children are raised, and then the way they raise their kids, and so on and so on.
Absolutely. So, in the world of counseling, in the world of therapy, we say that abuse is anything less than nurturing to the development of your emotional life. Anything less than nurturing. So abuse is a very big spectrum. Yeah. On one side of that spectrum is the parents that beat the hell out of their kids and do the worst thing possible to their kids. And on the other side are the parents that don't have any accountability for the children, let them do whatever they want and kind of run the show. Both of those are equally abusive to their development. In the middle is the sweet spot. The baby boomers were raised by a very tough generation, and they were raised by this generation of because I said so. You don't contradict me. You don't question me. You put in the hard work and you get the result. Mm-hmm. And that's the baby boomers lived that way, and they were first they were hippies, they had their voice, but then they were yuppies, and then they started making a bunch of money, but they lived with this mentality of you don't contradict me. You don't question me. I'm the adult. And that's how I was raised by at least two of the four parents that raised me, where you don't contradict me. It is what it is because I said so. And they did that because that's what they were taught. Yeah. But it's bullshit because parents are wrong all the time. Yeah. Right. And I was, unfortunately, I kind of learned that my voice didn't matter. And I'm not blaming my parents. My parents were wonderful people. But one of the things I did learn was that your voice doesn't matter. You are not to be heard. You're just to do what we tell you to do. And I was told that, if I felt sad, don't feel sad. If I felt afraid, don't feel afraid. It wasn't, hey, it's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel afraid. It's okay to feel happy. That was okay. And that was a direct result of them not being able to manage my uncomfortable emotion within themselves, right?
Because
they weren't capable of doing that because they weren't allowed to do that. So they were uncomfortable with me being uncomfortable. And the easiest thing for them to do was for them to say, you don't feel uncomfortable. That way I don't have to feel uncomfortable. Yeah. And emotional intelligence is to be able to sit here and say, you feel uncomfortable? That's okay. Go ahead. It won't affect me.
Yeah. Well, it won't affect me. And then also teaching them how to work through those big emotions.
But they didn't have that skill.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody taught them that.
No. And I do fear, while there are people like you who are really emotionally intelligent, teaching emotional intelligence and so on, you also have the other side of the spectrum of people who are doing the same thing, but it's in the form of just giving them an iPad.
Yeah, which is terrible.
Like even more devastating to their brain, because you're just like, I know how cooked my brain feels after 30 minutes on TikTok, an hour on TikTok.
Yes.
And then you look at Cocomelon and like what the actual science behind it, and it's really scary to a developing brain too. It's like,
yes.
But it's easy for me to judge because I don't have kids.
Well,
or not judging, but observing.
Listen, I have judged too, and I've got 4 siblings that are at least 10 years, if not 15 years younger than me. And my children didn't have that technology when they were kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm probably pretty certain had I had that technology as a young 24-year-old father, I would have used it.
Cannot imagine working like an 8-hour shift and then going home to children. I would be like, iPad, please,
Yes.
quiet.
And that's what we do. Unfortunately, it's terribly detrimental.
Yeah.
It's detrimental to the relationship between the child and the parent. And it's detrimental to their brain developing. And that's why we're seeing so many kids that are just have a hard time sitting still.
Mm-hmm. And like literacy crisis.
Yeah,
too,
absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely. I mean, I'm with my nieces and nephews and I love them dearly, but man, they have so much energy that they need to get out. And part of the reason that they're not getting it out is because they're being activated just by the screen.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, I'm a Gen Xer. And when we were kids, it was like on Saturday, get out of the house after breakfast and come home for lunch and then get out until dinner.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Well, now there's
Yeah.
the world's just different too. Yeah.
And I wonder, and I think there's a lot of debate on this. I wonder if that was always going on, the scary stuff.
Mm-hmm.
We just didn't see it.
Yeah. It wasn't
You know,
reported to
now-
your phone.
Yeah,
for
now I get to see
35
the argument
minutes.
that
Yeah.
my next door neighbor's having online. I mean, I can do any of that. So
Yeah.
I don't know how different it is. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I'm not sure.